Crazy Peaches. I just filmed a bunch of my apartment, which is still like hoarder level 12, clutter, mess, and the purpose of this video, which I may or may not share, or I might share and then take it down because I'll be embarrassed that I shared it, like the other one that I shared and then I took it down because I was embarrassed. But the point is that I am trying to create an actual, like a progress report. And this is for my own up-leveling. This is for my own embarrassing, like, self-reflection. Sometimes, like I said in another video, writing your thoughts out can help you to see that thought. And sometimes when you see the thought out of your head, you're like, oh, that's pretty ratchet. That's a pretty crap ass thought. That's a terrible thought. That's a cruel thought. Or, I've talked about imagining yourself saying the things that you say to yourself in your mind, imagining yourself saying those same things to somebody you truly love and respect and admire, and feel how cringy, how awful, how terrible, how untrue it would feel for you to say those same things you tell yourself on a regular basis, for you to say those things out loud to somebody else as if you were telling them those things about themselves. Whatever terrible things you say, like I say, like it's so embarrassing and humiliating that my house is a freaking disaster. And then I take a video of it to try to encourage myself that I'm up leveling and think maybe somebody else will see it and they'll feel a little less terrible about themselves. But then it's like, is it worth my humiliation to do that? And then of course I also have thoughts. I say of course, but I also have thoughts like, if my house is messy, how can anyone think highly of me? And yes, that's a society view. Like if you're a messy person, you're not a high quality person. Or if your house is messy, or if you're not very wealthy, if your stuff looks poor. So maybe I'll just share this for my higher tier, because I feel like, if you're going to support me, then I appreciate you. And I talk about sharing my most personal stuff on a higher tier, just so that I feel like, well, if somebody really wants to support me, then that's great. And then I can also share some things that I would never share this publicly. And even for my lower tier, I just don't want to share it. So, but I really want to encourage myself. What I really want to encourage myself is to say that where you've been is not an indication of where you can go. Whatever limit you had before, whatever max amount of cleanliness, or a big enough apartment that has all the space you need. I feel that if I had a lot more room, then I would have a less cluttered house. But way more importantly than that is the fact that I need to improve my actual habits. And I've said to my kids many times, I tell them all the time, however we treat this apartment is how we're going to treat the next up-leveled, better place. So let's get really good skills now, so that when we go to the next place, we'll have good skills. And I know, like I was saying, I think I'm going to pop this in beforehand, and then if you want to watch the messy shit, you can watch it. And I say in there, to get into my closet, there's so many things that I have to move aside just to open the door. And then there's a whole bunch of shit in there that's in the way to even get to a thing. Let's say an article of clothing that I just said, oh, I'm going to hang this thing up in my closet. But it's such a freaking obstacle course to get to it. that I don't ever do it. Why do I want to climb over a bunch of shit just to hang my clothes up? And then when I have to get dressed, I have to climb over a bunch of shit to get to it. And it's just, it makes it really difficult. It makes it really, really difficult, especially for me, who has not been a naturally neat and tidy person. I haven't developed those skills until now. I'm working on it. So, you know, like I said to my kids yesterday when we went to the laundromat, yeah, we have a washing machine and a dryer, but we are so backlogged. Like, we literally have like 20 loads of dirty laundry. And when I say dirty laundry, that's 5 loads of coats and sweatshirts and stuff that it was washed, but it was washed 3 months ago and nobody's worn it, and now it's the new season, and I don't just pull shit out and wear 3 months of dust on a thing. That's a good way to get sick. So we have to wash that. Then there's blankets. There's 3 people who sleep in this house, so there's multiple blankets per person. So that's like 6 to 9 blankets. That's a lot of loads, okay? Then you got regular day-to-day clothes. Then we've got all of our summer stuff that's going to be transitioning out, all the shorts and the short sleeves and the short socks, and transitioning into the thicker clothing and the heavier things. And so, and I live here where on the East Coast where there's 4 seasons. So it's like every 3 months, it's a different weather. Then I got 2 growing kids who are just under 3 years apart. So everything that is still good that my older son outgrows, I don't want to get rid of it because very soon it's going to be time for my younger son. So there's tons of stuff. Then I'm an artist, so I have a lot of stuff. I've got art supplies. I've got artwork. I like to sew when I haven't gotten to it in a freaking over a year, but you know, so I have tons of fabric. That takes up space. My kids had tons of books. I've got tons of books, and they had lots of toys, and some of things we have gotten rid of a bunch of stuff, but it's like life it's so much stuff comes in. And the taking of the time to do the cleaning and the de-hoarding and all that stuff this is what I'm learning. I'm learning it now. I'm learning that neat and tidy people, they neaten up and tidy up as they go all day long. They pick up a thing, they use the thing, then they, you know, they say, oh, okay, I'm going to light an incense. So they pick up the incense, they take their incense out, and then they don't just drop it down. They put it back away right away. They put it right back where it belongs immediately. That's what I was saying to my kids, that I read this article, and it really makes sense that a neat and tidy person will pick up a thing, use the thing, and put the thing back down where it goes right away. Make a wish, neat and tidy person all the time. Riches, riches, health and riches, health and wealth. So, okay, so if you're a neat and tidy person, or if you're training yourself to be a neat and tidy person, you use you pick up the thing, you use it, and you immediately put it back away where it goes. I explained to my children yesterday. Hold on, I need some lip balm and a sip of water. Okay, so scenario 1, you pick up thing A, you use thing A, you put thing A back where it belongs. Or another scenario, you pick up thing A, B, and C, and D, you use A, B, and C, and D, and then you put A, B, C, and D away, and then you're done. The non-neat and tidy person will use A, B, C, and D, put all things A, B, C, and D down on the counter, put them all scattered around places where they do not belong. You will use the thing, and then you will put it down somewhere else, not in its home. And then you tell yourself, I'll get back to it later. And we think that when we're putting the thing down, instead of putting A down where it goes, we just put it down right in front of us or wherever we're at. Somehow in our brain, we think that we're saving time and we're making things easier. But what you're actually doing is you're creating like 3 times more work. Because if you pick the thing up, use it, and then put it back where it goes, there's a start, a middle, and a finish. The task is complete. But when you pick up a thing and you use the thing and then you put the thing down where it does not go, now you've just created like 3 more things that you have to do. Because now instead of start, middle, finish, done, you've got start, middle, pause. Then you have to like start again and then like another middle. And then, you understand what I'm saying? Like instead of having use a thing or get a thing, use a thing, put a thing away, you get a thing, use a thing, put a thing down where it doesn't belong. And then you tell yourself you're going to come back to it later. So you get a thing, you use a thing, you put it down where it doesn't belong. You're going to come back to it later. Then later you come back to it, you pick up the thing, then you have to put the thing where it belongs and put it away. Okay, so even if we just say 6 things, you have just doubled the work, you've doubled the time that it takes, if not tripled it, or even longer if you don't get back to it right away. And in the meantime, in the interim, you have a messy house. So you have a messy house, you have work to do that you didn't need to do if you had just done it the first time the right way. And now you have double the work. So when you look at things in that way, when you realize, when you understand that when you get a thing and you use a thing, putting it down is a task. Whether you decide I'm going to put this down where it does not belong, or I'm going to get up and I'm going to put it where it does belong. Either way, you still have to do the thing. So when you do the thing and you just put it where it goes, you're done. But when you do the thing and you put it where it doesn't go, now you've just created more work for yourself. You've created another whole 3-point to-do task. And when you do that multiple times a day, where you pick up things, you use things, and you put them down where they don't belong, now you have just made so much work for yourself. You've made disarray, you've made chaos. It's not neat and tidy. And each thing that you need to now put away that you could have just put away when you used it the first time has created a mountain of work for you to do that you didn't need to do. You didn't even need to have that work generated if you just understood in the first place that when you put the thing down where it doesn't belong, you're still putting the thing down. So why not just put the thing down where it does belong? Save yourself the time, the mess, and the headache, and the extra work that you need to do in the first place. It's like years of, I'm training myself to take that like edge out of my voice, especially when I talk to my children. For years, my children and I have been living in this hellish cycle of wash clothes, put them in the hamper, scrounge through hamper for clothes, dump hamper on the bed, pull out what you need, ignore the rest, don't fold and put it away, let the day end. Now it's late. Now everybody's exhausted. Now there's a pile of clean clothes on the bed that nobody feels like folding because it's insanely late. So we then take all the clothes and shove them back into the hamper, which makes them even more disorganized and even more messy. We have even at times literally folded those clothings, put them in the hamper, and then the next day they get dumped out and all the folding is undone. Like, I've lived like that for years because, yes, in part it's because our apartment is tiny and there's like things in the way of everything. And so it's so like, it's been so awkward. You know, my son sleeps in the one room, but then like, because this apartment is so small, every room is multi-purpose. So this room here, this is a dining room, my partial bedroom, my son's partial bedroom. You know, it's like bedroom meaning his bed stuff, or maybe I shouldn't say bedroom, like my son's closet, my closet, my art supply storage over here and over there by the dining table. The dining table, tons like books storage. It's just like, it's partially my office, partially like where I used to dance. It's like there's so many multi-purposes leveled into one room, and there's nowhere for all the stuff. And it's like, I'm not trying to be a horrible hoarder, but I have things that I like to do in my life. And, like I said in that other video, Dana K. White, her version, which is great for her. And, and I love that she's like, her way is customizable. Anybody can use it. You don't have to get rid of everything just because you don't have space for it. But, her method is like, well, the space you have is the container, and therefore you got to get rid of stuff instead of just having more and more and more containers. But I have young growing children, and I have art projects that I like to do, and I have things like, I personally don't want to just get rid of all my stuff. And that was what I was going to say, that when I moved when I first came to this apartment to look at it, every single room was lined. The walls were lined with boxes. And, but it was like, we're moving out. But I kind of got a sense of like, this is how they live. Like, yes, it looked like they were moving out, but it also looked like there's nowhere to put stuff. Even though there's these closets. And then, I moved in here, and then I learned what I learned about it. If I was a single person, if I was one singular person living here by myself, or maybe if I was a single mom with only one child who was a lot younger. When we first moved in here, my kids were younger. They were 5 and 8. The point is that maybe I'm going to share these videos. I'm doing it acknowledging it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be this messy. It's embarrassing to have this much stuff. It's embarrassing that I haven't been neater or tidier or more organized before this. But this is my journey. I'm starting where I am. And like I talked about in the video that I made yesterday, Detached from Detachment Part 3, Chapter 3. And then I talked a lot about, free will and all this stuff. And I'm not rich. I'm not pretending to be rich. I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of abilities. I have a lot to offer. I can earn. I can do a great job. But I'm not a wealthy person. I don't live in a mansion. I don't even live in a house. I mean, I live in a house, but I live in a 2-family house, and I only live in 1 floor. I live in a tiny apartment that's not at all adequate. And this video, this channel, this whole thing is all about Start Where You Are. When I very first started this channel, well, it was actually the other channel, which is now Cat Dancing and Stretching, I started it off with a very shitty ass laptop that had a terrible camera. And I was like, this is not good quality, but I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to just start where I am. I'm not going to let the fact that I'm not at the top of where I want to be a reason or an excuse for me to not do it at all. And so in that same exact energy, I'm going to share, if I have the guts to share, I'm going to share these videos. Maybe I'll just make them private. And when I get to an up-leveled space, I'll share them. But at the same time, how is that really authentic? So a part of me is so ashamed, but then a part of me feels like, isn't it amazing and powerful that I am willing to address this and actually going to change this, and I'm willing, as hard as it is, to show other people, like, hey, you can be an extremely successful and smart and amazing person who's creative. Like, I'm also, that's another thing, I'm a very artistic person, and so I have a lot of creative energy. I don't have a lot of energy, I have not up till now had a lot of energy towards cleaning up. However, I'm shifting my mindset about it. I'm allowing myself to realize that it is creative energy to be neat and tidy, and to thought exchange, like David Friedman. Take that thought that says I'm not a naturally neat and tidy person and give that back to the thought exchange store and say, I'm going to take these new thoughts that say, I am a neat and tidy person. I can learn how to be neat and tidy. I can literally transform my life. So instead of just sitting in my car and wearing the same sweatshirt every single day for, 12 months and saying that I'm a multimillionaire and that I run my business and I only work for half an hour a day and I'm super uber rich and I manifest everything I want to, but all you ever see of me is me sitting in my car wearing the same shirt. Now I'm just kind of going on a little rantrum because the person who I won't mention their name, that was one thing that used to always annoy me. Like, why do you wear the same sweatshirt? Like, how are you possibly a multimillionaire and yet somehow every single day you wear the same exact sweatshirt? Do you wash that same sweatshirt? Are you smelly? Are you wearing that same sweatshirt like day in and day out? Do you have 20 of them? Do you wash it every single day? Like, I'm confused. I don't know. When you watch my videos, you see me. I'm sitting here, I'm over there, I'm walking around, I go outside, I'm in the backyard, I'm in the front, I'm on the porch, I'm sometimes in my car, although my car is so fucking loud and I don't know. There's probably videos of me in my car, but I gotta sneeze. I'm not better than anybody else. I certainly don't have the money, and when I do end up having the money, when I work for the money and gain the money, which is my intention, I'm not going to be better than anybody else. I'll be better than where I'm at now. So another reason why I want to encourage myself to share these videos, is to show my progress, to show that I'm a human, to be authentic, to show that just because you're in a bad place doesn't mean that you have to always stay there. And I personally enjoy seeing a transition. Actually, another reason why I started my channel, my first channel, it's now called Cat Dancing and Stretching. And the reason I started that, was to start where I was. And it was because I wanted to dance around my living room. And I was just curious I wanted to see myself. I wanted to see what I looked like dancing. So I started to take videos of it. And then I just started to post them. And some of them I thought were kind of fun and cute. So I shared those because it was kind of fun and cute. And then I had things to say. So I would share talking videos. And then at some point I felt like it was kind of weird that I had like two completely different genres happening on my channel. And so I split into two channels. And I don't spend anywhere near as much time on my dancing because I am neglecting myself. And of course, so my channel's getting neglected and I need to get to it. But I got other things that I'm working on right now that are taking more of my time and energy. So I did not intend for this to end up being another hour-long talk. I just wanted to pop in to the beginning of all the ugly apartment stuff and show, so I did have another video so this is kind of like a series that's starting to grow, and so maybe I'll just make a playlist for this series and I'll share it for dragons or one of my higher tiers. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here, and since it's a series and this is I'm up leveling, I am becoming a neat and tidy person, and I'm also up leveling my clients, and I'm up leveling how much money I earn, and I'm up leveling my home. And like I said in the beginning, my whole intention is to do the best I can with what I have right now, make the most of this tiny little apartment. And it's not that tiny compared to what other people have, but it is tiny compared to what other people have. You know, like I said in another video, I went to see my son's new friend. We went to a play date, and the kid lives in a 16 stately room mansion. Okay, so if I had 16 stately rooms, I could definitely have enough space for my things. But I don't. So, you know, I need to do, like, I'm not going to get rid of everything like Dana K. White does, because that's just her way of, like, being able to handle things. I'm going to pack things in storage that I might want at some point, but I can't get to now. And, you know, like with the clothing, we gotta deal with seasonal clothing here, and I have to deal with it. So this is my journey, up leveling, but starting where I am, acknowledging that I have a mountain to climb to get from where I'm at and where I've been for years to where I want to go. And I want to take my children on the journey. I want to teach my children how to be neat and tidy children, so they can become neat and tidy adults, and they can be neat and tidy people, because I was never taught that. And cleaning up was always like an angry energy. My mother was always angry when she cleaned because my dad never helped, and she had like 3 jobs and she had 3 kids, and she never took the time to teach us and to make it like part of our lifestyle. And so we didn't do it with her, and it was always like resentment and stress. And so I just like avoided cleaning a lot. And then when I would clean, I would be angry because that's what I was accustomed to. And then that kind of translated into my children. And so now I am doing everything I can to thought exchange, to up level, to improve my situation, to change how I see myself, to, you know, even like Dana K. White, she's like, oh, I'm not a neat and tidy person. I just have these skills. Okay, well, I'm going to acquire these skills to the point where I actually am a neat and tidy person. You know, it's weird to me that, I said in another video that I get it. I think it's like almost like a marketing tool, you know, being able to still affirm, I'm not a neat and tidy person, but yet I can be neat and tidy. Great, booyah for you. But I want to become a neat and tidy person. So I'm not going to stick forever to the fact that wherever I'm at is where I have to always be. Like, no, you learn stuff. You know, you can go from not being a driver to being a driver. You can go from knowing how to swim not knowing how to swim to knowing how to swim. You can go from knowing how to speak a language. I'm saying it backwards. You can go from not knowing a language to knowing a language. So, you know, when you learn a thing and you acquire a skill and you become a new version of yourself, you absolutely become a neat and tidy person, or somebody, you know, a polyglot or whatever it is. Once you've acquired the skill and you've embodied the behavior and you've made it an actual way of life, you can take that badge of honor and say, I'm a neat and tidy person now. I wasn't before, but I am. So like I said in yesterday's video, different people have different methods. They have different messages. They have different purposes for why they say what they say and how they say it. Like, if, you know, that supposedly multi-millionaire girl who every single video, she's just sitting in her car wearing the same fucking sweatshirt she's been wearing for 3 fucking years, and, you know, and she's up leveling and people love her. It's like there was that other lady who claimed that it was like a van life kind of thing, but then she'd go to her storage unit and her bed is in her storage unit, fully made with pillows and blankets, and like her entire storage unit looked like an apartment. And it's like, you're not allowed to live in a storage unit. You're not even allowed to sleep there. So nobody would, you know, she's like, oh, I don't don't sleep here. No, no, no. It's just like that. Like anybody who's had a storage unit knows you don't make your bed, like actually put the blankets out. Like that's just not how people use storage units. The point is that I'm just saying, like, it seemed pretty much like she was faking, lying, you know, and like I said that too yesterday, like, obviously I could go to a car dealership or get in some friend's car. I could pretend, I could say this thing is mine, but kind of like you see in my videos, like I live here. How do you know? Because all my fucking videos, I'm here. So I'm always here. And then when you see my car, Judy, my poor little leaky car, that I have videos of me doing different things like the car cover and how to make it not leak and all this stuff, so it's like, that's obviously my lovely old lady car. So yeah, there's ways you could fake, and then there's ways you can kind of make it obvious, and that's my intention. My intention is to work through the process, to deal with the emotional part of it, the mental part of it, the physical part of it, the spiritual part of it, all of it, the emotions that come with being ashamed of where you are right now, how your house looks, the energy that you're able to put into it, maybe the skills that your parents taught you and the way that they treated you when it came to cleaning up. And like another level of my unseen alignment, the deeper truth of my unseen alignment was that having a neat and tidy home to me represented a family where you belong, a place where all you and your stuff is safe, a safe haven where you're meant to be. And people who neaten up and tidy up their stuff have this deep-seated sense, I think, that they belong and their things belong. And I never had that. I never had that sense. I never had a sense that I belonged. I never had a sense that the things that I liked were allowed. I never had a sense that the things that were my things were even my things. It's like when I was 19 and I painted the dresser that I had since I was like 4 years old, and my mom fucking yelled at me saying that was her dresser. And I'm like, what? This kitty dresser that I've had for my whole life, that I used to share with my sister. It had 6 little drawers, and it was like 3 were mine and 3 were hers. And then she got a little older and she got her own dresser. And then so it became mine. I'm like, this fucking dresser that you paid $20 for 13 years ago, you're fucking bitching at me because I wanted to paint it and freshen it up? Yeah, she did. She did that. I was never allowed to, wear the shoes that I wanted, or the outfits that I liked, or the coat. Why? Because she couldn't afford it. So she would always buy me whatever she could, or she would make stuff, or I would get hand-me-downs. So I never had a sense that me as a human being and all of my things had a place that we belonged. And so neatening up and tidying up just was not a part of my life. And now I'm making it a part of my life. And yeah, it's fucking embarrassing to show the mess. But if I don't show the mess, then there won't be any progress to be seen, and it's not a magical process. So for now, I'm going to consider sharing this for Patreon patrons, because if somebody really enjoys my message and they want to pay to support me to see these longer, more private, more kind of embarrassing videos, then you know what? Thank you. Hopefully this is helpful to you. I get up and move. There's a ghost on my shirt. Actually, see, this is how I am. This is a very cute sweatshirt that I bought, and I accidentally got bleach on it. And so I turned it into a little cute ghost. So cute. And then look, I was cleaning. I'll show these pants that I have on. One day I don't know what it was. Oh, I had something with bleach in it. I didn't realize there was bleach in it, and I was like, and it bleached. It bleached the pants. So it's kind of like a matching set with the bleach stains. The point I'm saying is that, like, I'm a human being. I'm not just like a robot sitting in my car telling you how to manifest a million things in your life. And I, expect you to be entertained by the same, the sameness, the sameness. Look at this beautiful thing. I love it. And the other one on the, this, look, can you see it? Oh my God. It's bleached. It's bleached. I need to just cut that. I really need to just cut that. Because at this point, it's very gross. And I keep forgetting how gross it probably looks from the outside. That was a curtain that my sister gave me years ago. Oh, it's making a lot of dust. It was very, very cool. You know that bleach is one of the, the sun is one of the best bleaching agents there is out there. Like I was saying with Judy, those bungee cords that I was using to keep the car cover from making a dip so that when it rains, there's not a pool of water on the top of the car cover. And that lasted for, I don't know, I guess through the summer, because now they're all rotten. Well, I say rotten, they're like bleached so that they have no more, there's no more elasticity, and it's not holding the car cover up. So there's a, you can check on my channel if you're interested in what the hell I'm talking about. My car cover, my car leaks, the sunroof leaks when it rains. And so I haven't put a car cover on it, but then because there's these roof racks, that makes a big ass pool of water. The point of this little pop-in is to just show you, like, I don't know, I personally enjoy videos where there's like movement, there's action, there's a message. But there's an actual real person who's living life, and it's more of a vlog than a just like, I'm gonna, like I said yesterday, I'm gonna just a one-sided, I'm gonna talk at you, and I don't want any engagement or any kind of like back and forth. I don't want anybody to be able to engage on, like, that's not my messaging. That's not what I'm into. I'm always wearing something different. I'm always in a different position. Not always, because, I have my setup. And, I sit there at my computer, and sometimes I face that way because I have the beautiful lights behind me. Sometimes I'm out and about. I haven't gone for a walk and talk in a long time, but you can find a bunch on my channel. So if you're into this kind of thing, maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, girl, you move too much. I'm dizzy. I can't focus. I prefer somebody who sits still in their car. I like it. But again, that's the beauty of free will. That's the beauty of having your own thoughts. That's the beauty of compatibility. I personally think the fact that some people are compatible and some people are incompatible, and some people choose you and some people don't, all of that makes love and friendship and connection more special, because it means that when someone picks you, it's because they've chosen you. It's not because you've puppet mastered their brain. And just to reiterate, I think I said yesterday, like, oh, it's creepy to, try to make somebody who doesn't want you. And I just like to reiterate, say it again, repeat it, that if someone is your compatible match, but they're not with you at the moment because you're on a path and they're on a path and you haven't linked up, that's okay. If you deeply believe that the right person for you is a specific person that you're not with currently, and everything I've said to you, all the things that I've said on the videos where I say, you know, is the best case scenario, best of the best thing that you could possibly imagine or manifest or have in your life actually getting back somebody who didn't want you, getting back somebody who left you, or for whatever reason it didn't work out? Is that actually the best of the best? Or could you maybe want better? So those are thoughts and options. But I like to reiterate that if your actual best of the best, and that person's, that specific person's best of the best, just happens to perfectly match together to be that you guys be together, I do believe that that's 100% possible, that you can manifest. You can absolutely manifest the right person. And if the right person just happens to be the specific person you're obsessed with that you can't have right now, then the answer is to do the work. It's like, that's what I said I did yesterday. I spent years doing the work on me, no contact, not trying to manifest this person, not trying to send him telepathic thoughts, not trying to get him to text me, just literally living my life and doing my own thing. And what ended up happening? I moved on. I found out he moved on. It hurt. It did hurt a bit. And then I realized, why am I hurt? Why am I hurt that a stranger is living his life? He's somebody I used to know. The things that we shared happened in the past. None of that is now. None of that is happening right now. None of it's going to happen again. Why am I sad about something that's not even here? And just like people say, be Delulu and pretend that this guy loves you. Just be Delulu and pretend that you got over it. That's a better Delulu. Because at the end of the day, at the end of that, once you get to the state of like where you're actually, you know, a bit more healed, you will be glad that you moved on. So move on. If you really believe in your heart of hearts that the best thing, the best match, the best case scenario for both of you is going to be that y'alls are together, the only way to get to that place is if you move on. And I don't mean move on because you're detached from detachment because you believe that they're going to come back to you. I mean move on because just fucking move on. Because no one can be healthy in a relationship if they're obsessed with someone. You cannot be healthy in a relationship if you're obsessed. And even my darling Veronica Isles, who I love, she still puts out videos like, get your specific person obsessed with you. And I don't like that. I don't like that kind of video. I don't watch those videos. I'm not into that messaging. I'm not into that energy. I'm not interested in somebody being obsessed with me. I don't believe the word obsessed is good. Devoted, committed, faithful, investing, interested, consistent, reliable, loving. Those are good words. Somebody you can count on. Somebody who's definitely going to show up and follow through. I like those words. Somebody who contacts me. Somebody who asks me to do stuff. Somebody who likes to see me. Somebody who wants to get together. Those are also things that I like. But I don't want somebody to be obsessed. Obsession is not healthy. So this got off on a long tangy, talking about a specific person again, even though this was supposed to be talking about cleaning my apartment. But I don't know, I might just keep this whole one long thing as a whole long thing for my Patreon, and then we're going to get to seeing my messy apartment, unless this is maybe a clip I'm going to share. Maybe I will share a clip of this on, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, see you. I hope that was helpful, or at least entertaining. See you in the next one. Bye. Just got back upstairs from the basement with a whole new bucket of clean laundry. I think the point that I didn't get to finish making, I was trying to make before, about the kids and I went to the laundromat yesterday and we did 10 loads. Actually washed 10 loads. And then I said I have 20 loads. Well, so when I say we washed 10 loads, it was actually like we used 5 machines. But, you know, it would have been 10 loads. 2 triple machines and then 2 or 3 double. Anyway, it was a huge amount. And the point I was trying to get at is that even though, so I wanted to do it all, but that would have been too much money. And also, my car couldn't have fit it all. So at first I was like, we're doing everything. And then I was like, oh wait, no, we're not. Because I don't have a giant car. So we picked the 10, you know, we fit as much as we could. And then I realized like I could get the rest of it done at home. If every day I do 2 or 3 loads a day, I can, because, oh, that's the point I was trying to say, that when you have a huge backlog of things, and then every single day there's, you know, new laundry is being worn, and then it has to be washed and folded and put away. So every single day, dirty laundry is being made, and then, so I could do laundry every single day just to maintain. And so then when you've got tons and tons and tons of backlogged stuff, trying to get to it, you like will never, ever get to it without going to the laundromat and getting huge chunks of it done. So that's my goal. Wait, did I wash this? I think I did. Yes. That's my goal, is to every day do at least 2 loads a day, and then maybe, you know, once a week for the next few weeks, or once a month for the next, whatever, you know, going to the laundromat. Maybe once a month we go to the laundromat and we wash, you know, all the blankets and the sheets and all the big stuff that just gets really, you know, just becomes so much. And it was actually really quite wonderful to get all that stuff done. We dropped it, we went, we started the loads, we ran to the store, drove to the store to get a few things, then went back, put everything in the dryer, and that's when we went to the Home Depot and got those bins that are in the living room, which I just decided I'm going to record. Well, I am recording. I'm going to make 2 versions of this video. One will be for YouTube regular, I suppose, and then the other one where if you really want to see my apartment, so I will put the part where I talk about it, all what I talk about, I'm going to put that on here. If you want to actually see the video footage and follow along with the progress and the process and watch the actual apartment being shown and see all that stuff, that's going to be on Patreon. But you know, the talking parts, yeah, I'm going to show it because I do enjoy, like I said, I do enjoy making videos and making free content whenever I can. And today, let's see, it's 1:25 p.m. I've got to leave the house in an hour to go get my kids. I've got some work to do for clients. Some I was working on. Let's see, where's the hook? I don't know where the hook went. So Just another thing, you know, right now I have the clients that I have. I do enjoy them. However, I am so much up leveling. And I do believe that it will be very soon that I'm going to probably replace a couple of these clients with other clients. Or, you know, maybe not replace, like, but I feel like the ones that are not going to be sustainable, they will fade away. And then the ones that are sustainable will rise up. And then, you know, I'll get new clients as others leave, and it'll be a beautiful ebb and flow of a nice, consistent flow of clients.